911. What's your emergency? He stabbed my wife. I shot him. Please hurry. Okay, so when police first got that call, they thought they were dealing with a home invasion, a husband defending his wife from an attacker. Pretty straightforward, right? Wrong. What they actually uncovered was one of the most twisted, calculated murder plots I've ever covered on this channel. We're talking fake identities, a fetish website, and a secret affair that ended with two people dead. Welcome to Crime Max, and this is the story of Brendan Banfield. Real quick, if you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we cover cases like this every week. And if you like what you're watching, smash that like button. Alright, let's get into it. So let me set the scene for you. Herndon, Virginia. This is your classic wealthy suburb right outside DC. You know the type. Nice houses, tree-lined streets, kids riding bikes in the neighborhood. The kind of place where nothing bad is supposed to happen. And living in one of these homes was the Banfield family. Brendan Banfield, 37, worked as a special agent for the IRS. His wife, Christine, also 37, was a stay-at-home mom. They had a 4-year-old daughter. On paper, they looked perfect. But here's the thing about perfect families. They don't exist. There's always something lurking beneath the surface. You just have to look close enough. Now, in October 2021, the Banfields decided to hire an au pair. Her name was Juliana Perez Magalhães. She was only 21, fresh from Brazil, specifically from the outskirts of São Paulo. She came to America with big dreams, hoping for a better life and new opportunities. Her job was simple: take care of the kid, help around the house, be part of the family. And honestly, she became part of the family, just not in the way anyone expected. Fast forward to August 2022, so Juliana's been living with them for about 10 months at this point, and that's when she and Brendan started having an affair. Yeah. So while Christine is sleeping down the hall, trusting her husband, trusting the woman they hired to help with their child, Brendan and Juliana are sneaking around together. And it gets worse, because Brendan wasn't just having an affair, he was planning to murder his wife. Okay, so here's where things get really dark. October 2022. The family takes a trip to New York City. Should be nice, right? Quality family time. But on this trip, Brendan pulls Juliana aside and tells her something chilling. He wants Christine gone, like permanently gone. Now, according to Juliana's testimony, and we'll get to why she eventually talked, Brendan told her divorce wasn't an option. Why? Because Christine would take most of the money in a divorce settlement. He'd lose custody of his daughter. His whole comfortable IRS agent lifestyle would fall apart. So instead of dealing with divorce like a normal person, Brendan comes up with a plan. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first read about this, my jaw dropped. He wants to commit the perfect murder. And this is where it gets absolutely insane. So get this. Brendan and Juliana start using Christine's own laptop while she's in the house. They create a fake email account in her name, use her photos, her information, everything. And they make a profile on a BDSM fetish website. Now, they're not looking for a date or anything like that. They're looking for someone they can set up, someone they can frame for Christine's murder. A complete stranger who has no idea what he's walking into. For an entire month, these two are messaging different guys on this site. They're pretending to be Christine, saying she wants to act out this violent rape fantasy. The whole scenario was that some stranger would break into the house with restraints and a knife and attack her while she's sleeping. I mean, just think about how sick and calculated that is. Eventually, they find their guy. His name was Joseph Ryan. 39 years old, lived by himself. As far as Joseph knew, he was talking to a woman who wanted to explore some consensual role play. He had absolutely no clue that he was being set up to be murdered and framed for someone else's death. In the weeks before February 24th, 2023, Brendan and Juliana are preparing for this like it's some kind of military operation. They buy new phones so their messages can't be traced. Brendan's checking the neighborhood for security cameras. He changes up his morning routine so nobody would think it's weird when he's not home at the usual time. He has soundproof windows installed in the house. And on top of all that, Brendan takes Juliana to a gun range and teaches her how to shoot. All right, so it's the morning of February 24th, 2023. This is the day everything goes down. Christine is upstairs sleeping. She has no idea what's about to happen. Her 4-year-old daughter is somewhere in the house. It's just a normal Friday morning for her. Brendan leaves the house and drives to a McDonald's nearby. And here's where his alibi comes in. Surveillance cameras catch everything. He orders food at the drive-thru, parks his car, walks inside, and goes into the bathroom. While he's doing that, Juliana is sitting in her car with the Banfield's daughter, parked close to the house, and she's got Brendan's personal gun in her pocket. At 7:29 in the morning, Joseph Ryan shows up. He parks in the driveway, walks up to the front door, which Brendan left unlocked on purpose, and he's carrying restraints and a knife, just like they told him to bring. This man genuinely thinks he's about to have a consensual encounter with someone. He has no idea he's walking straight into a death trap. Juliana sees him go inside. See, she tries calling Christine's phone. It doesn't ring because Brendan had already turned it off and hid it in a kitchen drawer earlier. Then she calls Brendan. The McDonald's cameras catch him at exactly 7:37, walking out of the bathroom with his phone up to his ear, rushing to his car, and taking off. Now I gotta warn you, what I'm about to describe is based on Juliana's testimony in court, and it's pretty graphic. So just a heads up. Brendan burst into the bedroom. Joseph Ryan is already in there. And without any warning, Brendan shoots him in the head with his IRS service weapon. Then he grabs the knife that Joseph brought. Remember, that was part of the setup. And he turns on his own wife. Juliana testified that she was crouched down behind the bed, trying to cover her eyes and ears. But she looked a few times, and she saw Brendan stabbing Christine over and over in the neck. When it was done, Brendan told Juliana to shoot Joseph again, this time in the chest with the gun he'd given her earlier. Then, and this is just next level calculated, Brendan moves Joseph's body around to get Christine's blood all over him. Why? To make it look like Joseph attacked Christine, and Brendan was just the hero husband who stopped a home invader. At 7:46 a.m., Brendan calls 911. He stabbed my wife. I shot him. So police show up, and they see exactly what Brendan wanted them to see. A dead woman, a dead guy with a knife, and what looks like a pretty clear case of self-defense. But here's the thing about homicide detectives. They don't just take things at face value. They start digging. And when they dig, they find everything. They find the fetish website account. They trace those emails back to Christine's laptop. They discover that Brendan and Juliana bought burner phones right before the murders. And of course, they uncover the affair. But even with all that evidence piling up, Juliana stuck to the story. For 8 months after the murders, she backed up everything Brendan said. She played the role of the traumatized au pair who witnessed this horrible tragedy. Then, in October 2023, police arrested her. They charged her with second-degree murder for shooting Joseph Ryan. And for a whole year, she held out. She sat in jail. She wrote these heartbreaking letters to Brendan, talking about how much she loved him, how depressed she was, how hopeless everything felt. In one letter, she wrote, "No strength, no courage, no hope." But then something changed in October 2024. Maybe it was the guilt finally catching up to her. Maybe she was scared. Maybe she was just tired of carrying this secret. Maybe it was all of those things. Whatever it was, Juliana Perez Magalhaes decided to come clean. She told investigators everything: the affair, the planning, the murders, the cover-up, every single detail. And she cut a deal with prosecutors. She pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and agreed to testify against Brendan in exchange for a recommendation of time served. Just like that, Brendan's perfect plan completely fell apart. So now we're in January 2026. Brendan Banfield is on trial for aggravated murder. If he's convicted, he's looking at life in prison. Juliana took the stand and testified for 2 full days. She laid out everything, how Brendan told her he needed to get rid of Christine, Doubt how they spent a month setting up Joseph Ryan to take the fall. All of it. Now Brendan's defense team is arguing that she's lying, that she's just trying to save herself by throwing Brendan under the bus. And look, I get it, that's their job. But here's the thing. Prosecutors don't just have Juliana's word. They've got digital evidence, phone records, surveillance footage from that McDonald's, those soundproof windows that got installed right before the murder. It all lines up. This case really makes you think about something uncomfortable, you know? How far will someone go just to avoid losing what they have? Christine Banfield was murdered in her own bed by the man who promised to love her forever. Joseph Ryan was tricked and lured to his death by people pretending to be someone else. He was just used and then thrown away. And a 4-year-old little girl lost her mother and had to witness the aftermath of something no child should ever see. All of this. For what? To avoid a divorce? To not split up assets? To keep up some picture-perfect image? As this trial keeps going, one thing's for sure: there's no such thing as the perfect crime, just crimes that haven't been caught yet. So just to update you, Brendan Banfield's trial is still ongoing as of January 2026. He's pleaded not guilty to everything. Juliana will be sentenced once his trial wraps up, and their daughter is being taken care of by family members. If anything in this case hit close to home for you, or if you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, please reach out. There are people who can help. Thanks so much for watching Crime Max. If you made it this far and you haven't liked the video yet, go ahead and do that now. And definitely subscribe if you want more cases like this. I want to hear from you guys. Drop a comment and tell me what you think. Do you think Juliana deserves the plea deal she got? Or should she face more time? Let me know your thoughts. Justice for Christine. Justice for Joseph. This is Crime Max, and I'll catch you in the next one.